the fish from their watery world, they stare back with such wide-eyed purity that you wouldn't want to dismiss the presence of their soul. I also admire their finely sculpted, streamlined form and iridescent blue scales. I repeatedly study these creatures that I share the water with, as they restively hold the current in the same way that I stand against a strong wind. They erect their distinctive sail-shaped dorsal fins and anchor themselves in place against the flow. Then they can be seen as vividly as a worm in mezcal. Usually less than a foot long and found in northern waters, the grayling is a keystone species, a veritable canary in the coal mine in an era when the Arctic now warms nearly 4 times faster than the rest of the world. In their migrations up and down tens of thousands of small streams, they provide nutrients throughout the ecosystem and are often the only fish, lithe and muscular, that can wriggle up countless narrow drainages that won't fit the stouter salmon and trout. Well, that's the beta from the appreciative fish biologists. They also wonder if this supremely adapted cold water species will go belly up as the world overheats, streams in the Arctic dry, and summer seasons elongate. Refer to photo on page 14 of the PDF. Beneath multiple thermokarst landslides caused by permafrost thaw, we tow our pack rafts up Kalulutuk Creek to avoid bushwhacking in a brush-thickened valley created by the greening of the Arctic. Chris Korbulik photo. A couple months from now, as this river creek begins to crackle with ice buildup, hundreds of Salupalayak will migrate downstream into the 400-foot deep waters of Walker Lake. They'll congregate there until spring, preyed upon by the tubby, bully lake trout, akin to grizzlies amid ground squirrels. I watched the grayling here in the headwaters of Walker Lake and the Kobuk River as I study birds on the wing and other wildlife signs. The wide bear trails bulldoze through the alder thickets, moose scat remarkably similar to milk duds, and, in the willows, the ptarmigan excreta like coarse hamburger curls extruded from the meat grinder. On the river bars, braided rope-shaped wolf feces are also strewn hither and yon. TMI, John, many people would say. Too much information to stop and talk about and pull apart every piece of animal fecal matter as if it were Play-Doh. Or to badger the Fish and Wildlife Service worker back in Fairbanks on the misconceptions about Arctic char and Dolly Varden. Char only exists in Alaskan lakes, I insisted, while Chris quietly exited the federal offices, chagrined at my compulsion to debate such arcane details. My disclaimer: 39 years ago, I decided to learn all I could about life above the Arctic Circle. As a climber, I traded my worship of high mountains for the high Arctic. I substituted bears and mosquitoes for crevasses and avalanches. But more importantly, like the study of crevasse extrication and avalanche avoidance, you couldn't just read about the Arctic or sign up for classroom courses. You have to go on immersive journeys and figure out how the interlocked parts of the natural world fit together, without guides or someone to hold your hand. Best to hit the ragged edge of exhaustion and make mistakes so that you learn what's important. And to go alone at least once. Along this path, acts of curiosity out on the land and the water can open an earned universe of wonders. But you must spend time in the villages, too, with the kind-hearted people of the North, to make sure you get it right. And you can't call the Arctic the far north. It is home, rather than far, to the many people who live there. So after 2 score of Arctic journeys in the summer of 2022, I'm on one more trip. I could not be on such an ambitious trip without all the previous experiences, which I'll use to sculpt a cohesive, whole, and fully developed sense of place. Disclaimer 2. The more I learn, it sometimes feels like the less I know about the Arctic. But this